Welcome. We're glad that you've joined us for another discipler group. These have been rich and exciting opportunities for us to continue to explore how we can be in ministry in our congregations. Today, we begin a three-part series on how leaders can lead in their communities and congregation. We're going to talk about honoring, disrupting, and aligning, three important things that all leaders must do. Today, we're going to focus on honoring. How do we honor the past? How do we honor the present? How do we honor the people we work with so that we can move into the future? You're going to see some of the exciting ministries happening here in the Baltimore-Washington conference and how people are honoring their people, their past, and their ministries. Let's adventure together.
Good morning and welcome to Mount Vernon Place. Mount Vernon Place has sold a portion of its property. 2 of our 3 buildings will be completely demolished. We'll then use the proceeds of the sale to completely restore our historic property, and then we will buy back approximately 25,000 square feet for our offices, our fellowship hall, our educational, and other outreach space.
The SHOP suspension program is a program for middle school age and high school age children who have been suspended from 1 to 10 days. It's an alternative program that the school system has incorporated and that we use here in order to make sure that when the students do return to school, that they will keep up with their studies and the fact that they will not be behind.
We use the time, in addition to helping them to keep up with their studies, we have a mentoring program wherein we discuss some of life choices and try to help the student determine how they can make better choices in the future if they find themselves in similar situations.
The volunteers are just amazing in terms of what they do and their commitment. And we're just so pleased to have had this program introduced to the county.
The SHOP suspension program now is in 7 different sites and in 7 different churches of all denominations. So that it's a program that's been a blessing not only to this church and not only to this community, but it's an honor to give glory to God for it.
Skateboard ministry at St. Paul came about one November. John Flynn, who's one of our volunteers now, came and had an idea about doing a skateboard park, actually building one, and we talked about it a little bit. And started thinking about what we could do. Later that spring, we heard about some of the skateboarders actually getting in trouble, getting arrested, getting run out of the shopping centers and all. We don't have a skateboard park in this area close by that they can get to. So we just started looking around and seeing what our resources were. What would we need to do for teenagers to be comfortable, skateboarders to be comfortable to come to our church and skate on the parking lot? We went to the church and to my senior pastor actually first and said, you know, what obstacles do we got to overcome? We were both thinking about insurance because it's risky business, and getting the okay from the trustees. The trustees were easy because this is a pretty teen crazy church, and they liked the idea right away and didn't have any problem with us using the parking lot and such. And our senior pastor happens to have insurance sales in his background, so he reviewed the policy to make sure we were covered, and we said, let's go ahead and try it. So we got started last July, actually, started a little late in the summer, put up some flyers, spread the word by mouth and through our youth group and to their friends, and the kids started coming. And we run the music for them, the skate park for them, set up a drink station for them. Halfway through, we shut down and I do a brief message to them about God's love for them, about their specialness, their uniqueness, and so forth. And it's been good. It's been good. We've gotten anywhere from 15 to 40 kids on a good night, but no matter what, we figure whoever comes, God's bringing them. We're going to show them they're loved and cared for and provide something that they feel they need.
Well, some in the congregation would say that the pastor is not interested in honoring anything of the past, that the pastor wants to get rid of every single part of the tradition of this church. But in fact, that is not true. In fact, we have done our best to try to honor what's taken place in this church.
I think during this renovation and rebuilding that I've been called to honor the past. Things that have no meaning whatsoever to me have great meaning to many of these people. The Sure Chapel, which was named after one of the pastors, everybody wanted that picked up, literally, and set in the air and waited and brought back into the into the new building. Well, we have finally convinced them that there's a church in Mississippi that we can give to. We're going to give this chapel in October or November to a church in Mississippi that was destroyed during the hurricane. And now these people have come and they've come forward and they have finally let go. And therefore I feel that we've honored each and every one of these people by working with them, sometimes very, very difficult times, but now they're coming around. They're beginning to see what the future can hold, and therefore they're all part of it, and we're so glad they are, and we're going to honor the past.
But the biggest thing I would say that we are honoring from our past is that this is a church that from its very beginning was called to serve the needs of the nation's capital, to be right in the heart of the city. And that's our vision and our mission, is that we will be a church that will share the love of God in the heart of the nation's capital while keeping the nation's capital at heart. And so more than anything, we're trying to discover those ways that we can continue to be an active and a vital presence in this community, reaching out and trying to see what we can do to make downtown Washington a little bit healthier and a little bit brighter, hoping that this place will be a place where they can encounter that light.
I think what we're honoring in this program is the opportunity that God has given us to make the difference in the lives of our children beyond these church walls, not only within the church walls, but beyond it. So I think we're honoring the fact that God has given us spiritual gifts and that we all can work together in making the difference in the lives of people. I think that the one thing that God has called me, as far as in reference to the vision of the church, is that all need to participate, that everyone is special in God's eyes, that everyone can be used, that everyone can benefit from working together as a congregation, and the fact that when we do work together, God does change things.
Well, there's several things we're honoring. Most importantly, I believe we're honoring our obligation to reach out in the community, especially to our young citizens. Many of these kids that are in the skateboard ministry have never been exposed to any kind of an organized religion. And this is a chance for us to honor God's work and the work Jesus did when he was alive by reaching out in our community and not waiting for our community to come to us. We need to reach out in our community. And I think that's honoring not only the vision of the church, but the vision of Jesus Christ.
And this is Christina, and this is part of the reason that I do the skateboard ministry. I believe that people worship in different ways. There's a standard way to worship, and most people are familiar with that. But I know that the youth in the world worship in a different way. There are many different types of worship. And the skateboard ministry is one. It's more unique than the standard way. And I think that the youth want to worship in their own way. They have their own way of expressing themselves and pleasing God, and I believe that the skateboard ministry is part of that. There are also other things that I wanted to look into, like the stick ministry, and very powerful things that can reach a lot of people in their heart, and just different ways of worshiping.